Hello to anyone watching this video. This is a review of Monday Night Raw on Netflix, WWE NXT's New Year's Evil, and WWE Friday Night Smackdown. Okay, here we go. Monday Night Raw had a lot of expectations from everyone. High expectations because of its move to Netflix. I was one of those people. I expected some things to go down. Some of it didn't happen. Some things did happen that I didn't expect. First off, the night started off with a montage of everything that happened in the past to get to where we are now. It was beautiful, and it was beautiful. It almost made me shed a tear there. Then you had Triple H in the middle of the ring. Uh, you know, announcing the beginning of Raw on Netflix, and it was a really cool presentation. And then of course The Rock came out, and that was cool. And he did a couple of things that kind of threw me off, but I didn't have too much of an issue with. But if you look on the discourse online, quite a few people did. And one of those things they had an issue with was him praising Cody Rhodes. And yeah, that threw me off, but it was what it was. And I get to the other thing that threw people off, or kind of disappointed people. All right, first match: Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa for the Ulufala and the right to call him the one true tribal chief. Match was impactful. A lot of back and forth. It was a lot of fun. It was high impact, and yeah, had Solo a couple of times calling out Roman for not loving him. This is one of the things I love about the Bloodline story. There's a lot of emotion, a lot of real emotion that you can't really get from most anything. And yeah, it was just really great. And then pulled in a lot of female fans because you got them glazing all over Roman Reigns. But then, I mean, just look at him. But it was a great match though. I really enjoyed it. It had a real main event feeling to it, and of course, you had their interferences from Tama Tonga and my guy Jacob Fatu. God, dude's freaking awesome. But then, of course, you got Sammy and Jimmy come out there and try to help, and they did. Near falls towards the end of the match. Everyone was trying to spam signature moves and finishers. And then Kevin Owens came out and stunned Roman Reigns. And he almost, Solo crawling there, almost got him. Didn't get him. And then, of course, Cody Rhodes came out and stuck his nose again in Bloodline business, even though it was also related to Kevin Owens and his feud. It still kind of was Bloodline business. But anyways, Roman Reigns ends up picking the win, and Paul Heyman tries to put the Ulufala on Roman Reigns, and then all of a sudden, here comes The Rock. In the background, no music. He's walking. Everybody's just like, oh my God, something bad's gonna happen. Oh God, something's gonna happen. Oh my God, something's bad's gonna happen. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. And that was my thought too. But as soon as he got in the ring, he, basically gestured to Paul Heyman, let me have the Ulufala. I'll place it on him. Paul hands it over to him, and I'm thinking something's gonna happen here. Maybe, but then nothing. Nothing happened. Sorry, um, working through a little sickness right now. Anyways, um, yeah, no, he just places it on him. I mean, there seemed like a little bit of tension, but he just kind of was like, okay, I'm gonna let you have your night, and placed it on him. Roman Reigns putting his ones up to the sky as I was watching it, but also thinking, God, Rock's gonna hit him. Rock's gonna hit him. Rock's gonna hit him. And there was a few instances I was like, nah, he's staying in that ring too long, bro. He's just staying in that ring too long. But no, nothing happened. And that's the other thing that threw people off. So everyone was like, okay, so he's not gonna be at WrestleMania. My thing is that they did this because Netflix was drawing in the casual wrestling fan. So of course they didn't want to do anything to throw them off. But us, wrestling fans who have been invested in this story for years, especially last year with The Rock showing up as the final boss, we were kind of perplexed. But I understood it. Not a lot of people did online. They're talking about, well, I guess Rock's not gonna show up. I guess Rock's just burying the whole thing between Roman and Cody, and this whole 1, 2, 3 meant nothing. But honestly, I kind of looked at it as part of the final boss situation. I'll get to what happened on NXT New Year's Eve in a minute, but yeah, anyways, I just took it as part of his personality, which I will get into later. Then next up, it was God, it was I think it was the John Cena thing. I think it was the John Cena segment and that whole nostalgia and everyone cheering, and it was pretty cool to see him. He looked a little bit skinnier, but that's expected because he's not really gearing up, wrestling every week. He's doing the Hollywood thing, which is cool. But yeah, seeing John Cena come out there, and he was being really humble, which was kind of pissing me off just a little bit. I want him to be at least a little bit greedy, which is kind of funny how things change because we always took, a lot of people, including myself, always said that, they need to stop focusing on John when he was in his, when he had that in the early 2000 2010s, you know, and saying that, oh, we need to stop focusing on John, but now it's like, come on, John, you could be a little selfish here. Come on now. But yeah, he was being really humble, talking about how don't expect him to win a 17th world championship. Everyone's like, no, you got to do it. You got to do it, John. And then he casually threw out, well, the only way it could happen is Money in the Bank, Elimination Chamber. Then he paused and everyone started going crazy. And then he said the Royal Rumble. What if he went into the Royal Rumble, went on to WrestleMania, and, you know, broke the record? 17 World Heavyweight Championships. What if he did that? And everyone went crazy. So John just basically threw his name in the hat for the Royal Rumble in February. So I don't think he's gonna win. I would probably want him to win, but I don't think he's going to win. I have my predictions about what may happen, but I'll save that for a later date. Um, then you had Chad Gable come out, and he was talking about. Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm mixing it up, but it was one of the segments. I'm sure. Chad Gable coming out and was like, no, he wanted to face the best luchador there is. And after seeing the new Penta um, teaser, so it's pretty much Penta versus Chad next week, but that's for next week. Then we had Liv versus Rhea. A lot of Liv and Rhea fans discoursing online about who should be champ and who's the better champ and who had the better reign. I'm just glad it's over. We are done. We are not doing any more Liv and Rhea stuff. They dragged that on a little longer than they should have. So I'm glad that's over. Done. El finito finished. Rhea went over. Let's all move on. And also kicked Dominic Mysterio right in the nads. That was funny. And then I believe we had and then the Undertaker came out with when Rhea was celebrating her win at the entrance, and everyone cheered him. Cheered him. I'm putting emphasis on that because of a segment a little bit later on. And he went around the ring in his motorcycle, which was so cool for him to come out in the American Badass entrance. But yeah, that was cool. That was really cool. And then they cut to a commercial while everybody overseas got to see some other cool stuff. But hey, guys are lucky. All right. And then it was I believe it was the Hogan situation. That's the next one I want to get into. Hogan came out to promote his beer, um, with Jimmy Hart kind of just waving the American flag behind him, and he got booed, and it wasn't like scattered boos. It was a thunderous boo. Um, Later on, after the event, it came out that Hogan said that it was because he made his choice. He stood for what was right. That's why he got booed. That was one of the highlights of the night. I swear to you, him getting booed was awesome. But let me tell you something. It wasn't really because of his political choice. It is because he's a crap faced human being. Get that? Crap faced human being. A racist piece of trash. And people want to say he apologized. No. He didn't really apologize. What it was that he apologized for saying those things, not being aware of that there were cameras around. That's why. That's what the apology was, that he should have kept his mouth shut and been more aware of the potential of someone recording him. Not for the fact that the things he said, but for it coming out the way that it did. And so he never really tried to apologize for any of that. So, nah. he sucks as a human being. That's why he got booed. And him trying to rip that shirt off and struggling. And the shirt went down to his legs. It would have been an all-timer moment if Hogan tripped and fell, but it didn't happen. So, moving on. Then we had Jay versus Drew, and we almost had almost a small incident with him and Travis Scott. You know who Travis Scott is, right? I don't listen to his music, but I know he's supposed to be a big deal. Anyways, there was a certain something that had to do with substances. But thank goodness Jay, stayed away from that for the most part. Didn't inhale any of that stuff. And we, had the whole yeet thing. That was freaking cool to see. It's always a cool thing to see, but with the Netflix and the drones, those little small drones throughout the night, that was really freaking cool. And to have it during the yeet entrance, that was dope. But anyways, Jay was taking on Drew McIntyre, a guy he hadn't beaten on one-on-one competition. And it was a little bit back and forth, but then Drew really started beating him down towards the end of the match. He hit him with the Claymore, actually, and Jay kicked out. And I was like, maybe there's some hope. But then Jay started getting beaten up some more. I'm like, yeah, crap. And when he was going to get hit again, Jay just falls to the ground and just lays there, and Drew, being Drew, was just having his fun. And when he tried to go for it again, Jay rolls him up, pins him. Jay gets his first victory over Drew McIntyre. McIntyre is beside himself. Again, Drew only has Drew to blame for that. All right. And then finally, we have CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, match of the night. This was 10 years in the making, and you can feel with each punch and each kick, each hit that these guys put on each other, that there was some real emotion in there, especially for Seth. He's been holding this in for quite a bit. And it was such a back and forth match. It really had this feel of a Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart, where Punk, criticizes Seth for being a goofball and dressing the way that he does. So, and Seth just hates just hates CM Punk. So it really had that, the showman and the technician, kind of a Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels thing. It went back and forth for a while. I'll tell you this right now, Seth Rollins was spamming finishers, using every kind of finisher, and still couldn't put the man down. CM Punk, I believe, hit a curb stomp, and Rollins kicked out of that. And then Rollins tried to go for the Falcon Arrow, the superplex coming into the Falcon Arrow. Didn't work out. He got caught into a GTS, bounced off the ropes, then fell on Punk's shoulders. Punk struggled to lift Seth Rollins, but you've been in a match that long, and at his age, it's kind of hard to kind of do something like that. Try to keep it all in one motion. But anyways, he hits him with the go to sleep. CM Punk wins. He wins. and taunts Seth Rollins with a little, night night that and Seth Rollins was steaming, but you only got to see that part if you tuned into the YouTube after, Raw on Netflix. But it was a fun night. I did expect more to happen. I was expecting Becky or Charlotte, but apparently that's not going to happen until later on. But I'm going to judge it on what it did have and what it did present. And I'm going to say it was a 9.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed myself. I had a PLE view, and it was a great way to introduce casual fans. That's what this night was about. Casual fans. So introducing them to that was cool, and I gotta say I love it. It was really fun. It was really fun. But now we're going right back into the wrestling thing, and yep. And also mark your calendars for January 27th because Roman Reigns is gonna have a ceremony to for his tribal chiefness. And no shenanigans will happen there, I'm sure. All right. Now, time for NXT's New Year's Evil. I didn't watch. I had to go back and watch it because I was watching other things with the fam. So had to go back and watch it. Julia and Roxanne. Julia gets her redemption against Roxanne Perez. It was a great freaking match. Julia wins. She's the new champ. But before, I want to give a shout out to Roxanne Perez because she really held it down, dude. I mean, she really did. Everything she did from becoming this pure babyface to becoming this really great heel, she really held it down for NXT, and I can't wait for her main roster run, probably on Smackdown, where Bayley is. I know those two have talked about wanting to go up against one another, so that should be fun. And then after that, it was, I believe Eddie Thorpe got taken out. And everyone, including myself, thought it was because The Rock did it. Because The Rock showed up at the start of the night, but he was in the parking lot situation, or the parking garage, so thought he was the one that attacked Eddie Thorpe. Get to that in a minute. He had a fatal four-way match to determine who takes on Fallon Henley for the North American Women's Championship. Stephanie Vacour, I think I said that right. Cora Jade, Lola Vice, Kalani Jordan. Hard-hitting match. It was pretty good. It was a little choppy here and there, but that's what you could kind of expect in a fatal four-way. Things to get a little choppy, but it was great for the most part. And of course, we have Booker T glazing over Stephanie Vacour doing that move. You guys know what move I'm talking about. Come on, I can't really blame him. Shucky ducky quack quack. But no. Stephanie Vacour came out on top, so we got her versus Fallon Henley for the North American Women's Championship, or so we thought, because of what happens next. In the next match, I believe it was the fatal influence of Fallon Henley, JC Jane, and Jasmine Nix versus Shotzi, Gigi Dolan, and Tatum Paxley, which I really love that trio. So maybe eventually those three can debut. Well, Shotzi's supposed to be, excuse me for that. Shotzi's supposed to be on Smackdown, but now she's in NXT. I'm guessing trying to get her legs underneath her and then get back there. But man, they're a great little trio. They look really interesting. That'd be really cool to have. But anyways, the match was pretty good. But Shotzi came out on top with, Shotzi's team did it by pinning Fallon Henley, which worked into a segment later of Stephanie Vacour going one on one with Fallon Henley. And they had a little backstage discussion with Ava. And of course, Shotzi said, because I pinned her, I deserve it. Like, no. No. Stephanie Vacour or Vacker is the rightful number one contender for that match. Like, surely, right? But apparently not, because Ava now wants to make it a one-on-one match for Vacour versus Shotzi. And, like, okay, fine, whatever. Then what was the point of that fatal four-way match? Come on, let's get it together. All right, another segment happened when Ethan Page was getting on Ava, him being a jerk, of course. And then The Rock showed up and basically was telling them, you want to be cool, right? He was kind of letting them know a little bit of Final Boss vibes right there that we kind of felt. Like, you want to be cool with me, you got to be cool with her. Basically hinting, if you ain't cool with her, you ain't cool with me. And that means we're going to have a problem. Now, he didn't say exactly that, but you can read in between the lines. And then, I don't know if Rock been drinking or something, but that man went ahead and smacked Ethan Page's ass on the way out like a football player or two. Just like that came out of nowhere. Like, why? But yeah. And then they had a nice, Ava and The Rock had a nice little father-daughter moment, and that was cute. And he was getting ready for his promo at the end of the night, which we're going to get to in a minute. Then later on, there was a couple of segments that happened. Ava found Eddie Thorpe all beat up and everything. Back to what I was saying earlier, Thorpe was attacked. So he believed Eddie Thorpe was just lying to get himself out of the match and then somehow work himself into a one-on-one match eventually. Excuse me. But Oba Femi was behind that for what happened last week. So, yeah. Then the final match was almost. My bad. Almost forgot. Lexis King versus Charlie Dempsey. It was a rematch because of what happened, I believe, in the previous week with the disqualification situation. Lexis King won in a pinfall. Sudden death rules. So, there you go, Lexis King. You did it on your own. And you did it in a way that, your father wouldn't have done it. So, that was nice. That was kind of nice to see. But I have expected Bruno Rico to come out there and try to clock this man again and cost him the match. But that didn't happen, I don't think. It didn't happen. Okay. And then finally you had Oba Femi versus Trick Williams, Eddie Thorpe, although it was Oba and Trick that started it out for a while, and it was like that for a good while. They were being a snot of each other. Obviously, Oba Femi was getting a better situation. And then, of course, kind of towards the end, Eddie Thorpe shows up and tries to disrupt the whole thing, but in the end, there was only one ruler, and it's Oba Femi. Dude's a legit star. Maybe he'll make a Royal Rumble appearance, but we'll see. I think he's gonna be the next big star. He just got this aura, this presence around him. Can't wait to see that. All right. Oberfemi won. Hit Trick with his finisher. And I don't know if my voice went like that or not. Okay. Anyways, Oberfemi won. That was great. Uh, Oberfemi and Julia showed up at the entrance with their titles to kind of like usher in this new era. So that was cool. That confetti all coming down. That was nice. All right. Um, and then last but not least, The Rock comes out and kind of mocks the fans a bit. Uh, for saying he was being too nice to Cody. He didn't tag Cody while he's being friends with Cody, kind of doing it in this mocking way, like the Cody crybabies. You being friends with Cody? Why you being friends with Cody? Why did you attack him? And it's just, and a lot of profanity was used. I'm pretty sure the guys in the production truck were shaking their heads because Rock just cussing and does not care. But anyways, he was talking about how he was 20 steps ahead of the whole situation. 20 steps ahead. And I was like, okay. But then I had to really think about it. And I was like, and then seeing some stuff online about people talking about, well, that was on the 7th, 20 steps ahead, January 27th. Roman's little ceremony. So, sure, nothing big's gonna happen on that day, right? In front of the whole world on Netflix? Nah, nothing bad's gonna happen. I'm pretty sure. But anyways, just pay attention to that close detail. Anyways, it was a great NXT New Year's Eve. Like I enjoyed the matches. I thought they were really, really pretty good. So yeah, it was fun. All right, last but not least, WWE Friday Night Smackdown. I was interested to see what would happen with Solo after losing the Ulafala, but I guess we're gonna have to wait until next week because he did not show up. But a couple of his bloodline members did. Get to that in a sec. Paul Heyman comes out talking about Roman Reigns is the tribal chief and basically calling out Cody Rhodes, letting Cody Rhodes know that Roman's coming for the title. Uh, Cody, came out and, Cody being Cody. And then Kevin Owens came out and basically interrupted the whole thing and just talked about more displeasure of Cody Rhodes helping out the bloodline, although Kevin Owens kind of helped out the bloodline, but whatever. No hypocrisy there, ladies and gentlemen. No hypocrisy there. But Cody had enough of Kevin bad mouthing him, went out to the crowd, they started brawling, and left Paul Heyman all by his onesie with Jacob Fatu and Damatanga. Paul Heyman was scared for his life, cowering in the corner. And then again, who wouldn't be with two angry one Samoan and one Tongan, but still scary. Scary. But And then out came Jimmy with no backup, and he was handling for a bit, but of course, my boy Jacob had to handle business and laid into him, and they were beating him down really bad. Up until then, Cody came back out and saved Jimmy, and then when they were getting kicked out, Jacob was like looking for the security, and the security was trying to challenge him, beating him up, quite a few of them. And then LA Knight shoves him out and locks him out of the door, locks him out of the arena. And I'm like, this man gonna pay for it later on. And he does. He really does. Then you had Chelsea Green versus Michin, a rivalry renewed. It was a rematch of the finals. Of course, Piper Niven was out there up to trying to be up to her shenanigans, but it was a nice little match. Chelsea had her antics. I really enjoyed her. Um, God, Chelsea won. Pulling the tights. The right person needed to win. I didn't think Michin had a chance against Chelsea Green. We're just getting into the Chelsea Green era, and I'm here for it. The woman deserves it. So yeah, um, yeah, it was really fun. It was really fun. And then next up was the was who was it? It was the Los Garzas versus Pretty Deadly. After what happened last week, we had four teams kind of like talking crap to one another. Motor City Machine Guns, Theory, and Waller, the group that was supposed to break up but never did, and looks like that's a whole drop storyline. Um, then on the other side, you had Pretty Deadly and Los Garzas, and they had their match. And I'm guessing Los Garzas, Legado del Fantasma are gonna be baby faces moving forward because that's how they're being presented, at least in the last 2 weeks. And I thought, um, those Garzas were gonna lose this match because they kind of look like they're building up Pretty Deadly. But no, Los Garzas won um, with a little bit of lying, cheating, and stealing, and I'm all fine with that. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. Rest in peace, Eddie Guerrero. You were the best. But yeah. Then they hit their finisher. I thought they were gonna do like that flapjack. It was almost like that, like both of them double teaming to do a flapjack, and then but they usually go on the top rope. So I was like, what? And then they end up just flipping around on the upper back neck area. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, that looks like it really hurt, and it probably did. But Los Garzas won, and then we had I believe what was it? LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the US Championship. And that was a pretty good match, back and forth, but I was half expecting for Fatu and Tama Tonga to come out and interrupt it. And when LA Knight was about to win, of course, that's what they did. They won. I mean, not won, but they of course they were going to win that brawl. It's 2-on-1, being us not at LA Knight, and of course here comes Jimmy and Cody, and pretty much fight them and get them away from the ring. And Cody then tells Nick Aldis, "Don't throw them out. Let's have a match with them tonight." And that's what Nick Aldis did. And that was the main event. yeah, Cody again inserting himself in bloodline business, but it is what it is, I guess. I guess because he's champ, he can go into anyone's business. Okay. So, anyways, after that, then you had I'm trying to think. Give me a second. Okay, then you had Motor City Machine Guns versus Waller in Theory. And of course, I figured Motor City Machine Guns were going to win that. No way they're going to lose to Waller in Theory. And Motor City Machine Guns won. Try saying that 5 times fast. But yeah, they won. Wasn't really surprised with that, cause Waller and Theory are kind of on the well, they're going down the power rankings in tag teams right now. Let's just say that. And so now next week we got Los Garzas versus Motor City Machine Guns to see who becomes the number one contender for DIY's tag team titles. Probably Motor City Machine Guns, but if they're gonna push that, it's gonna be Los Garzas. Yeah. Then you had Tiffany Stratton. Tiffy time. Everyone, it is Tiffy time. After last week, her casting in on Nia, becoming the new women's champion. Thank God. But no, Nia had a good run. I gotta give her that. Nia had a good run, but it's Tiffy time now. Get used to it. Um, uh, as they were recapping, and Tiffany was basically saying it's Tiffy time. Nia came out trying to cut the best promo that she can, and basically telling her time's up. It's over. She wants a rematch. And then out came Bailey. And then out came Naomi and Bianca. And so it ensued into this all brick brawl, and Tiffany did the prettiest moonsault ever on everyone. Walked out of the ring with a big old smile on her face, and Nick Aldis comes out and makes it a fatal 4-way for the to see who becomes the number one contender for Tiffany's title. So they have a match. Everyone's having. It was a really great match. It was fun. It was really fun. A lot of interesting dynamics in that match. And it all culminated with Candice LeRae kind of coming out there and trying to insinuate herself to help Nia. Bianca Belair accidentally whipping Naomi in the ribs because while Sue's trying to KOD Bailey, Candice grabs Bianca's braid. Bianca tries pulling it and ends up hitting Naomi. And then Bianca gets pulled on the outside, and she basically takes herself and Nia out of the match, leaving Naomi off of Bailey. Bailey hits her finisher, and Bailey wins. Later on, after that, Bailey goes and basically says, "Tiffany's never beaten me. She's not good enough to beat me," which I feel like Tiffany's about to win. So that match is for next week. And finally, we had our main event. Jacob cut this amazing promo. Just give this man the mic. Let him do all the talking. He just has this aura about him. It's undeniable. Just let him do his thing. But yeah. Jacob Fatu cut a hell of a promo for walking out with Tama Tonga for their match. And then Cody and Jimmy came out, and Jimmy, being one of the funniest characters ever, does the whoa on top of the turnbuckle with Cody. But the main event served what the main event was supposed to, and Kevin Owens comes out right when Cody is helping out Jimmy, or at least trying to. You got yourself involved in this business, and then he dips. he dips and leaves Jimmy on by himself, and that's when I knew, hell, it's over. Jimmy just got screwed, and basically that's what happened. Jacob tags himself in and beats the crap out of Jimmy and pins him in the ring. 1, 2, 3. That was it. Then we cut to Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes fighting it out. And then they get on top of whatever those things were. That's electrical equipment, I guess. The where they store it or whatever. And while Kevin Owens saw a table, said, good idea. Let me go ahead and put Cody right through it. Except the execution was crap. Cody reverses it, but they're punching each other again, and then Cody's like, I'm gonna spear this man. And tries to, but it's kind of weird and awkward, and ends up just shoving him, Kevin Owens, and both of them go tumbling down through the table. Kevin landing on his side, on his pelvic side. Thank God there was carpet, because God, it would have been a really bad situation if there was no carpet. But I'm pretty sure it still hurt like hell. So, yeah, that was WWE in review. This was really fun. Smackdown was fun. I give it a 8.5 out of 10. I can't wait for next week. I especially can't wait for I can't wait for the January 27th Monday Night Raw. Roman Reigns. His head better be on a swivel. My predictions for that: Solo's going to show up and probably acknowledge him. Now, one or two things is going to happen. Either he'll acknowledge him and then low blow him like Roman did to Jay back when they were feuding, or he'll legitimately acknowledge Roman Reigns, much to the chagrin of his two bloodline members, Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu. And some shenanigans will ensue, and a final boss may make an appearance. And then we'll get our road to WrestleMania, probably. Hopefully. Yeah. Again, I don't know. I'm thinking about live streaming for the Royal Rumble, but I don't know. A lot of things have got to align, but either way, I will make a review of it regardless. So, yeah. Anyways, thank you for anyone who actually watched through this video. I will get better. I felt like I did all right. But anyways, I hope you were able to enjoy yourself with these 3 amazing shows. And y'all have a great weekend. Peace.